Hi and welcome to this week's episode of the Daydream District Interview, where every week I'm interviewing somebody from the mobile VR industry that has an impact on the Daydream VR. My name is Sebastian and this channel is called Daydream District, bringing you the latest and greatest of Daydream VR, so if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so now. This week I'm talking to my fellow countryman Wolfgang, who is the co-founder of Threaks, an indie developer that has just launched Battle Planet for Daydream VR. Now, if you don't mind to listen to two Germans speaking English with a heavy German accent for 1 hour, this is an incredible interview and it's definitely worth it to listen in. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Today, it's my pleasure to say hello to Wolfgang, who is the co-CEO and co-founder of Threaks, who have brought us the awesome title Battle Planet for Daydream VR. Thank you so much, Wolf, for joining us.
Thanks, Sebastian, for having me.
You're welcome. So, in the beginning of this interview, I would like to ask you a bit about your development studio, Threaks. Tell us a bit more about Threaks. How many people are you? How did everything start? And give us a bit of background about Threaks. Where are you located? And so on.
Also, wir sind in Deutschland, since we're... Oh, shit. So,
no. Okay, again,
it's just... I was actually trying to hide it as a joke because... Just something you have to know, both Sebastian and me are Germans.
Exactly.
Scary Germans. No, and I thought I wanted to make a confusing start and start with German, because that's normally what I like to do at my talks, which brings me directly what Threaks are doing. So we are a game development studio that started in 2009. So we're basically now around for almost 8 years now, developed titles like Beat Buddy, which is out on Steam, Wii U, Xbox One, iOS, you name it. So it was a very nice title for us. Battle Planet is now our newest game. We also worked on, or are currently working on, games like Retro Invasion, which already won an Epic Games Award, and All I Have Is Time, which just received funding from the EU. So on the one side, we are a traditional indie development studio who wants to be out on like international game platforms, consoles, but also want to try out the latest stuff. That excites our team. But on the other hand, since we didn't like the circumstances that we found in 2010 and 11 in Germany, we did a lot of things to help indie development grow in Germany. So like the one thing we did together with Oliver Eberlei is like helping organizing the Indie Arena booth, which is now the biggest shared developer booth in the world. Last year at Gamescom, we had 60 teams from 25 countries on 650 square meters. We also helped organizing last year the biggest game jam at a trade show, the IG Jam, together with InnoGames and Intel, that brought 180 developers from 30 countries to Germany. And yeah, like everything that we like to do is just like also what the Mega Booth and other organizations in the States has been doing for almost a decade now, is like bringing developers together, making this world a bit smaller and letting the indie developer family in the whole world show what we do. And since we're all very small studios with small personal titles, we need to stick together to get some attention between all those AAA companies. And yeah, that's what we're doing as well. And so we do a lot of things.
Let's talk about your latest baby, which is called Battle Planet. I have already played it for quite a few times, and I really like it a lot. And it also made it to the top 10 Daydream District games. Yes, so congratulations to that.
That's another prize on the wall, I guess.
It is.
You can have it officially as a prize.
Exactly, you can. Yes. So, nice. And this is not because you're fellow Germans; it's because the game really rocks.
Thank you.
So tell our viewers a bit about Battle Planet.
So, I mean, you mentioned development, baby. Actually, the fun is my first son was born during the development of the game. And as you went into the credit scene, I don't know if you missed it or didn't miss it, but I built the credit scene, and just right next to Tico was the name of my son, Jonne.
I didn't see it.
So there's actually, it's like kind of double meaning in that sense, that it's our development baby in that sense. But I also want to say hi to my wife, Rike, and to our son, Jonne. Maybe he will watch that later. If he understands. So yeah, our development baby, Retro Battle Planet, yes. It's been kind of an idea we had concept-wise for quite a while. We actually did the first prototype on an airplane at last GDC when we flew back from San Francisco, because we just had this idea. how this perspective would work and how the whole feeling could work potentially for VR. And then we had a very, which always helps, is a bit harder, but always helps, to have very strong design restrictions. And we wanted to create this infinitive loop of that you will know this planet will explode eventually, since bombs coming from all areas, and they will blow away more and more parts of the planet. So you either die from the enemies, you either die because you fall into lava, or you either die because the planet is so destroyed that it will just explode. And we really like this design loop, and we were just coming up with ideas on how we can make this diffuser process, which is basically the core mechanic, tighter and more interesting. And then since we had a fantastic tech artist on the project, and also Raman, our fellow concept artist, also worked on another project with us, and just a very excited team about the project, things got very juicy and very loud and very crazy. And also the VR experience is like, I actually finished the game when it was out, while I was on a train to Berlin, and I played for 1.5 hours in the train. I mean, it was a bit mean with the gyroscope because the train was going all the way, exactly. So the pointer was always in the wrong direction. But yeah, it's really nice that you have this super intense action, and you don't really get sick. And also, we're very, very happy with the design loop, with the how much VR we put in to not stress people out, but to really have a different immersion and like to have a different feeling. And we're very happy about the balance, and it's very much us, if you can say it like that. So we're extremely excited about the title.
Nice. So for all these viewers who have not seen Battle Planet on Daydream District, or who haven't played it, could you in 1 or 2 sentences describe the game?
Sure, because I'm just quoting the Play Store text that I wrote. No, basically the idea is you're all alone on a microplanet in space, and all of a sudden you get attacked from all sides by a super gigantic army of enemies that start firing rockets at your planet, and you basically need to survive. You will eventually die, but it's just a matter of on how far you get. And then more and more enemies attacks, bosses, and you get more and more powerful with upgrades and perks. And the main mechanic is the diffuser process, that you need to diffuse all the bombs that hit the planets before the timer runs out. Otherwise, parts of the planets explode. And basically you get better and better round by round, understanding the jetpack mechanic, understanding the upgrade mechanic, understanding all the weapons that are coming, and how the whole control works, because it's a one-stick shooter, which is, I think, very rare, because the shooting is automatically. There was a special design for the Daydream that we also put under our restrictions. And it actually helps because you feel like very much in control, that you're all about the action. You do like have those massive shotguns and everything explodes, but basically all you do, if you watch people playing, they do this, and then, but you see this, oh, everything explodes. So this is really, like for us, good game design is that if you have with the push of the button a massive experience, and this is what Battle Planet does, and we're really excited about it, and we're just adding the online high score at the moment so that people can compete all over the world.
That's good.
Very excited about the new feature. So we're kind of curious about when the fans will beat us, which is, I think, impossible. But yeah,
we'll see. I will give it a try.
Cool.
The first thing that I felt when I was playing it, first of all, awesome, there's a huge planet and I can move on it, and it's full of action. And then my first reaction was like, hey, this feels a bit like Super Mario Galaxy. Right? Like, because you're also on these planets, and the planets are like kind of moving. And when you were designing it, did you have that in mind? That's classic?
I actually, like, when we were designing it, I actually had GTA in mind.
Oh, really?
I mean, it seems to be a bit far-fetched, but it isn't, because, like, if you think about GTA 1 and 2...
Exactly, GTA 1 and 2.
Those were the two games that I actually played the most from the series, and I spent a lot of time on GTA 3, but I don't know how many countless hours I put into the demo back then, because there was this 5-minute GTA demo, and me and my friend played it like how much damage can we do, and then I got the final game and played it over and over and over again, and the same with GTA 2. So, and I was I really liked this perspective, and then thinking about it, wrapping it around a VR 3D perspective. So that was one of the ideas. But then, of course, after we were looking into like what we have here, then games like Super Stardust from the awesome Finnish studio Housemarque was definitely also a studio that already had the challenges and the chances of this perspective.
Yes.
But with little less combat, I say, and also no diffusal mechanic. But then also Super Mario Galaxy is also working with that perspective. So there were already things that we could learn, like kind of know what we should avoid and what we should emphasize gameplay-wise, what is the fun part. But yeah, really the original thought was really like having this old school top-down experience from GTA in a VR world and how that would feel on total mayhem.
Interesting.
That was actually the first, now that I think about it, that was really the first idea we had.
Oh yeah. Now that you say it exactly, totally reminds me of that.
yeah, it's very distinct, and then also the madness, how everything explodes and the gunplay, and it was very easy controlled but very powerful in its whole design. So yeah, that was definitely like the first start of it, and then things gotten cool. Naturally evolved.
Yeah, so for all the viewers who hear about Battle Planet for the first time, do check out my gameplay video. And then do get the game if you like it. I can just tell you, it's worth it. It's really fun to play, and you should totally pick this one up. So now I would like to speak a bit about the business part. So
sure.
I think at the moment this community is very small. There's not so many people yet who even know about Daydream.
Yeah.
And for you as somebody who's making games, I think it's not like the very first impulse would be to make a game for a platform where not so many people are using it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, because in terms of the money that you have to invest to make this game, and to earn that money back, it must take quite some time. So why did you make the decision to make a Daydream game instead of making an iOS game or Android game?
Right. So I mean, as a game development studio, we kind of learned after 2013 that you have to invest in research and development, in new prototypes, in new platforms, and new parts, and then from other points you also receive like, let's say, publishing money, or you earn money from a platform by selling games. But at the moment, since things are, I wouldn't say crazy, but very crazy, that you are basically not able to get your money back on any platform. So it doesn't matter if you're out on Steam, on Xbox, on iOS, on whatever platform you pick. The money that it takes to develop a game, also like Battle Planet or like Retro Invasion or whatever, the chances are 1% that you get that money back from getting the game out on the platform. So, and we already kind of did that with BeatBuddy before, on better times with less games out there, and even then it was always a gamble. And like what we learned back then in 2013, don't gamble with your dream job. So what we are doing nowadays is like we are put our company business on several sources of income. So we don't go anymore from this is our next release, this needs to finance the whole year. It's more like we have a couple of income sources. Let's say BeatBuddy on Xbox, BeatBuddy on Steam. We bring out an album. We organize a show. We what else? We sell game codes. I don't know. There's like a lot of things how you can earn money. Also like illegal stuff maybe. No.
Exactly, this one is most interesting.
I don't know if you know this German movie called Lombok with Moritz Bleibtreu.
Yeah, of course. It's all about smoking the weed. Yeah,
and then also selling it in a pizza box and then delivering everybody. So I'm not saying that we're doing that.
But I would like to order one special.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So basically what you're saying is you don't put all your eggs into one basket.
Yes.
But you're like diversifying.
But what we research is like, of course, we've been keeping in mind like VR is definitely a topic, especially this year. Now that GDC is just around the corner, we also kind of hear that VR is like 2 years ago, it was everywhere about, oh wow, this is the next thing. But it's slowly filling up since this year with serious business data. So more and more platforms do perform. There are more and more partners that are interesting to invest inside VR ideas. So also the one game, All I Have Is Time, that we're currently working on, it's a time travel adventure game. We haven't much talked about it, but we received funding from the EU for a prototype. And now that we were able to get the experience developing on Daydream, the game Battle Planet, we really strongly think about that it could make sense to make a VR experience or like a VR action adventure out of it, because it would just be crazy amazing. So basically, when we looked at all the platforms, all the stuff that is currently out on the market, and since we are going to game jams all the time and have all the tech here, we could really take a look what would be a low balance entry point to get familiar with VR on a system where we see the strongest potential to commercially make sense in the next year. And that's Daydream. So Daydream is basically the product with Google behind it, the quality of the headset, the controller input that is not only some touch or some gesture, but as you can see with Battle Planet, we had very minimum controls. Basically, the whole game plays with one touchpad and a click. That's it. The other button is a pause button. So, and you can do those kinds of experiences. That basically told us that this would be the horse we would put our money on, if you can say so. And also, since we already worked before with Google or knew people from Google from the Android release of BeatBuddy, we know that those are cool people. And we kind of think that apart from like all the other tech, of course, everybody's amazed by Vive. I'm amazed by Vive and Oculus and everything. It's all really, really cool. But the one side is very, very much you got to have a lot of money and a 3x3 meter room and that type of stuff. And the VR experience, I mean, let's not lie about it. Of course, like full body VR, room scale VR, that's a different feeling than just head mounted VR. But like there are like certain steps when it comes to reaching an audience, and we think that Daydream is the perfect combination at this time to introduce VR to a general market, since like there are more and more Daydream ready phones coming out now, and that's, at least for us, it was a perfect platform to learn how you get a whole concept running, because you know it's not a 24 months development project. It was a fast cycle that we were able to learn how the platform works, to test and to get the game out, and we are also like supporting the game after the release. So, and the point is that this seemed to be, when we made the decision to develop for Daydream, the right idea. Now, I just have to say, now the market is slowly changing and more companies are approaching us for VR development, saying, hey, who has experience in developing consumer relevant titles on VR, not just some demos or some game jam games, then our name is now on the list of a company that you can talk to about VR content. And that was what I said about research and development, that yes, maybe, or I think we're not going to make the money back next week, but the game enabled us, and also being as a first company, also the first German studio who's now part of the lineup, and also making it into a list, which is honestly a huge honor. That's a very good chance for our company to follow up on our coming up projects and reaching the right partners. And yeah,
that's great.
I mean, you asked for business. Business is always a bit more complicated.
Yeah,
sorry,
but interesting. No, it's a great answer.
But yeah, it's
a really good answer.
Like, yeah, there was a lot of thinking behind that. That's all what I wanted to say.
Perfect, great. So we are, you're the first German VR studio, basically that I know of, and I have to say we have the best accents in the world.
It's a perfect accent. Yeah,
it's a perfect accent. Yeah,
it's totally.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I have to say, yes.
It's super great. Also, really good.
Yeah.
I sometimes get comments on my videos which says like, "Ah, you have such an annoying accent, dude." It's like, oh man, I'm always like laughing about it, and if I can annoy these people, I love it. So,
yeah, we have to be proud.
Yeah,
we are trying.
Exactly. So we have the greatest accents in the world, and we're actually not so serious, right? Sometimes we even can laugh. I mean, sometimes. Normally after a couple of beers, it works.
Yeah. And actually also have a funny anecdote about that. So I think everybody knows the Humble Bundle, and John Graham, who is the founder of the Humble Bundle, we like a couple of German studios. We organized a German bundle together like 2 years ago, and like John was a bit confused because like he's always doing his Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation when he was doing the trailers back then because he was voiceovering them.
Okay.
And all the German studios begged him to do that, and he's like, "You have all the Germans in the world. You have all the shitty accents. So why do you want an American talk Arnold Schwarzenegger English inside the video?" And we just felt that the accent is so beautiful, and that if John is going to do it, then this is going to be right. And he actually did it, and it's really funny because like of course from the video you can't tell because it just sounds like the cliche German speaking, but it's actually the boss of Humble Bundle doing the trailer. So
that's
I think
funny.
Our accent is definitely something.
It's funny. It's funny. Okay, cool. But now let's talk a bit more about Battle Planet. You just said that the development cycle was not so long. Could you let us know how long did it take to develop Battle Planet?
So, I mean, of course, you have to decide a bit between conception and actual development.
Yes.
Actual development was really... Actual development... Did I just lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, perfect, because the screen went out for a second.
No,
I was so afraid. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it happened again. I shouldn't move, but I think you can hear me, right?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, and I'm not moving anymore.
It's just your cable, I think.
Sebastian, beinahe wär's passiert.
No, I have you.
Good. Okay. So basically, the whole conception process, where we at Threaks take actually a lot of time to actually first figure out what is the sensation, why do we want to do that,
yes.
Get a first prototype running as soon as possible to find out if we have any type of mechanic there that works. And that was about on and off since we were back then still working on a game called Wild City. I would say about 2 or 3 months of brainstorming and concepting, but really really on and off. And then pure production was around 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
No, 4 to 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With how many developers?
6.
6 developers. Wow.
6 developers, like full time. Yeah, since one of our guys, Mo, who you also saw in the credits, he's our studio manager, so he's not developing in that sense. So yeah, with 6 people, then with Sönke and Rahman, yeah. So and also with Matthias supporting the game. Yeah. So I would say most of the time 6 people in 5 months. So that was, but it kind of shows like we are working with Unity since 7 years now. So we really know the engine back and forth. We kind of got this, like game jam speed to ourselves, kind of knowing what matters and what doesn't matter. But we were also surprised, like how fast we got this game quality-wise also done, because it doesn't really feel like a 5 to 6 months project. But yeah, so we of course, so it was very a perfect thing for us. But also just because the platform was just right, the concept from the beginning was extremely clear, and we just knew that we wanted to create a super immersive, explosive action world around this game loop, which is, like I said, actually fairly simple, but with all the different enemies and boss fights and guns and also the Terminite stories and this crazy commander who gives you more and more weird reasons why he can't rescue you with this whole armada. I think the one exclusive after you play to wave 12 or 13, it's all random of course, but then he like says, hey, sorry, you're still alive. We went to this Galaxy shopping mall and we got to some cute dresses. We will be there the next round. But that's like an ongoing joke that basically the big commander fleet will never save you. But every round he says, yeah, we are almost there. And then the reasons get more and more ridiculous. So like all those little things that we kind of knew it would all help the game loop of giving you this feeling you're fucked, you're all alone on the planet and you will die. But how long will you survive? And yeah, so was maybe the best development we had so far on the project. Was very fortunate.
Those enemies that you see on the left and right, are they robots or are they aliens?
Wow, that's actually a touchy subject, because I actually think like in between we kind of talked about it. Like one half of the studio said they are robots, the other half said they are humans dressed as robots, and I don't know. The discussions got a bit ridiculous about it, and then at some point somebody said it doesn't matter. And actually, I can't answer that question, to be honest, because because I was on this one side and other people were on other sides, so I think we have to leave it open to the imagination. It is an alien race. Let's call it an alien race called the Terminoids, and their thing is like kind of to destroy planets. So they're kind of like space pirates in that sense.
This is very evil, right? That they just float around to destroy the planets.
Yeah, they're extremely pissed.
Yeah.
And also, if you can kind of take a look, like basically the commanders, they're also fighting each other. This is why they also kind of kill each other. And then each of the commanders, like they're all smokers for some reasons.
Yeah, so they smoke weed, right?
I don't actually know, but you actually have to take a look that the next boss is like the first one is having one of the small cigarettes, then a larger one, and then a giant cigar. So yeah, for some reason, the bigger your cigar, the stronger your spaceship is. Yeah, I don't know. There's like a small hints on that race, but I don't have a final answer if they're human, robots, or aliens.
Okay.
I think they're just aliens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Great. So that was very interesting to talk about Battle Planet, and now I would like to know what are the next plans for Threaks, if you can talk about it.
Sure. So yeah, since GDC is just around the corner in San Francisco, we're actually leaving in 2 days with a lot of new concepts in place, but also, of course, to showcase, like Battle Planet a bit more, which is always nice because the whole industry is there. That's going to be awesome. And we are, of course, very, very proud of the game. And yeah, like, of course, like 2 concepts that we already announced are Retro Invasion, that already received a couple of awards and been greenlit on Steam. It has been a bit silent about the game because we needed to rework the design concept just a little bit to focus more on what we think the fans want. And that's more real-time voxelization, that's this clash between modern and old school characters, and that's especially, I think, the story. And so we have a couple of updates soon about how we think that we kind of designed the game a bit more, that it tailors that. And the other game is, of course, where we also received the funding for is All I Have Is Time. Adventure game about Vanessa. Her whole world basically gets destroyed, and you are able to travel back and forth in time to find out the terrible truth. But I'm not going to spoil more on that since we didn't release many details. But yeah, we definitely have more projects coming. Then also, just like I already mentioned, there's going to be a patch planned on Battle Planet adding online high score, which I think is going to be extremely cool since we have a couple of ideas prepared for social media contests. We even have our Battle Planet tattoos that we printed somewhere in Austria. So like at GDC, when people play the game, they get a tattoo, which I think is cool because tattoos are badass. Especially, I'll wrap them up to that later. Yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff going on. Then, of course, we are supporting this year again the Indy Arena booth at Gamescom, and then we're organizing the games part of a manga and cosplay convention here in Hamburg called the Magnology, which is going to be in June. We have a couple of cool ideas on really exciting companies and teams that will showcase in Hamburg from the 9th to the 11th of June, but there will be some more announcements. Yeah, so I think we'll be pretty busy this year with cool stuff. And yeah, so it won't be a boring year. And then I'm also, since I'm a father now.
Congratulations to that.
Thank you. I think I can also say that's, of course, also one of my biggest projects this year.
Of course, I think so. Cool. So this exhibition in Hamburg sounds really interesting. Probably I can pop by since I'm also in Germany and meet you guys in person. That will be fun.
And I think we have something Daydream-ish planned.
Okay.
So I cannot announce anything more. Like, we will definitely show some Daydream stuff. Hopefully there's going to be more Daydream. So yeah, we just want to tackle the future topic of our industry, but also have a bit more cultural stuff planned. So yeah, I think it definitely makes sense to come by in June Hamburg, but I will send you some more infos.
That would be great. Cool. So we're getting a bit closer to the end of this interview, and I know that lots of the viewers are very excited about games for Daydream and for VR, and I got some emails, and I was asked, what can they do if they want to become a game developer, or if they want to work in this industry? Probably you could tell our viewers who are interested in becoming a game developer or working for a game studio just like you, what would be your advice for them? What should they do?
I would recommend game jams. So game jams are all over Germany now. It's really become a phenomenon. The idea is that you sit together with beginner developers, amateur developers, professional developers, and you're in one room. Sometimes just 10 people, sometimes it's 200 people, sometimes it's in Copenhagen, it's 900 people at the Nordic Game Jam. And then you have one topic, and then spontaneously you form teams, and in 48 hours you make games. And
okay.
That's all the time you have, which is actually a good restriction on what you can do. So like I met a lot of people over the last 7 years that said, hey, I want to be a game developer because I have this, first I need an MMO world, then I need 200 million characters, then I need this and that because I really like this one mechanic. And there was always this idea like, yeah, maybe you should start with your initial idea or something you can get done in 48 hours or maybe a week or 1 month. And then let's see where it takes you from there. So my advice is definitely, if you're around the Hamburg area or just in general from Germany, the best jam that there is, in my opinion, since we also helped organizing it at Gamescom, is the IG Jam, the InnoGames Jam, which is mostly in Hamburg, but I think it's also going to be at Gamescom again. I don't know yet. And the InnoGames Jam, you can just go there. It's at the InnoGames Jam building in Hamburg. You don't have to pay anything. You get food. There's so many nice people. And then it doesn't matter if you're a complete amateur, never did anything again, or like a super expert. You can just be part of a group. You can just see how development works. Maybe you can write in your own stuff, do some interface design, write some dialogues, think about some level design. Just have a feeling on what you're good at. Because the problem is we normally get, or not normally, like a lot of things, a lot of times when we get applications, it's this application of a game designer. And the game designer means, to me, unless you have 15 years of experience as a game designer, you are in general interested in the industry, but you're not able to do shit at the moment. But you want to find your part, because game design is not actually a job, not in a small studio. You're either a level designer, you're a programmer, you're an artist, you are a story writer, whatever, but you have one hard skill. And then in our company, everybody is the game designer. So that means that's actually something that I also wrote my thesis about at the university. I'm a super big Valve fan, super big Half-Life fan, and I was always wondering why Half-Life 1 was such a game changer, like why there was something weird about this product. And then afterwards I read an article by Valve on Gamma Sutra about the Cabal process, that the game was in the middle, kind of like a half-good Duke Nukem clone-y thingy, and they were almost about to cancel it. And then they created a new concept, putting all the leads of the different parts together. So the tech part, the story part, the graphic part, and they were sitting in a cabal, which is kind of like a group of inner circle people. And then all of them said what from their department would be cool ideas they want to see in a game. So the tech guy said, we are able, tech-wise, to get like bullet holes inside the walls. That's something we could do. Or like have a lot of plasma on the screen. And then because the tech guy was asked, and he's not a game designer, the level designer or weapon designer said, hey, cool, then I can make this and this and that. So like all the good games came together from all the departments, and it was a combined effort. And there was one design director who made sure that the vision of the game, that everybody agreed on, that every department is paying into that vision. So in our company, I'm basically the overwatcher, so the design director, kind of like an editor, making sure that all the ideas we have from all the departments pay into this one idea of the game that we want to do. And like, even though, you know, it would be nice to have this and this and this weapon also in Battle Planet, but does it help to make the diffuser process more immersive or more interesting? And if the answer is no, then it's good for another game, but not good for this game. And they worked extremely well. So, like I said, we don't have a game designer. We are all game designers. I'm the design director, making sure that we don't forget what we agreed on. And yeah, you should definitely look for your, if you're feeling at the moment that you want to be a game designer or want to make games and you accidentally call it a game designer, you should go to a game jam and find out what your profession is. So that means level design, just like I said.
What part of game design is really your thing? Great.
Yeah,
and then
that I'm trying to get the
okay, and then probably Unity would be a good idea to learn.
Unity, but also Unreal is the same. I mean, Threaks are working with both engines. Of course, we have more experience with Unity since Unreal just opened up their free-to-use gates a couple of years ago. But both great engines, really depending on what you want to do. Like, of course, Unreal brings a lot of the AAA stuff, a whole car logic. It's really great for shooters. And then Unity, I think, is a bit better to use for unusual concepts. Also, if you want to work on mobile, at the moment at least, I think Unity is better for that. But it's really also your personal choice. Like both engines have a big community, and that's also the point. Like where you like both of them have very good tutorials. So I think it's more like a personal feeling on what type of games you want to do. So I can't really recommend anything.
Okay.
So we love both engines.
Great. Good. So at the very end of this video, I would like to ask you, what was your very first VR experience?
So I already had like I would rather say like my breakthrough understanding why VR is so important. And that was last year, I think, at GDC. Was it last year or the year before? I'm actually not quite sure. It's all blending in and out. So, and I was at the Epic booth, the people who do the Unreal Engine. And back then we received for Retro Invasion the Epic Games Award, which was like an extreme honor for the title. And then after we talked to the people there, we were able to get into their showcase rooms. And there was this one Vive installation. There was Bullet Train, I think, is this one game that is also coming out now. And the other demo they had was a Star Wars demo. And the Star Wars demo was like, so I did back then a little bit of Aikido with my brother, so I was always a bit into sword fight and that type of stuff. And then the Star Wars demo was a mix of cinema stuff, but also gameplay. But gameplay like I never felt it before. So the point is that you're on Tatooine, there's the Millennium Falcon, and first you just go around a bit in room scale VR, and then you kind of have this tool, and you need to fix up the Falcon, and R2-D2 is there, and it's all fun. And then all of a sudden you get attacked by stormtroopers. And then your tool becomes a lightsaber, and without any explanation, anything, you know this is a lightsaber. You can use it. Everybody understands that system, and there's no explanation. And you found out by just understanding how things work that the stormtrooper would fight at you, and all you could do is block with your sword the laser bullets and fire them back. That's all that. And that was like, I can still remember when I was in the credit scene, just playing around with the controller and the sword fight, and that that really made me click and understand that this is a new storytelling medium. This is a new way of bringing our genre forward, but it's not going to happen in the conventional way. It's not going to be just another console that you install. It's not another upgrade of a system. It's actually back to the roots. So we're now back in an arcade culture. Those are games, due to the technical circumstances that not a few people can provide, those are games that will be played in public again. Those are games that will be played, like in special rooms. So let's say there's the Holo Cafe from my friend Oliver, who's also running the Indy, or who's like the founder of the Indy Arena booth. He started a Holo Cafe, or the Holo Cafe in Düsseldorf, and he created his own content, and he was extremely successful with that because like everybody wants to have VR, but it's just a different way of approaching stuff. So that Star Wars demo back then really made me click that you have to handle this wonderful medium in a new way, and that you won't be happy with just developing like you did on Steam or on console, on analog games, that you need to get try out new ways. And if you do that, there's limitless possibilities. So we're very excited that we're part of the gang now.
Yeah.
The VR, I don't know, I'm very bad with games.
We have to think about something.
There was nice like the Daydream District. Okay. So,
cool. That was a really nice interview. Thanks for it. I really enjoyed it. To all the viewers, do check out Battle Planet. It rocks. It made it to the Daydream District Top 10 Games February edition, and I'm sure to lots of editions in the future. Do check out this game. There was Wolfgang from Threaks, and I'm sure we're going to see each other again. Thanks for the interview.
Sure, Sebastian. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that's it already for this week's interview. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Daydream District yet, do so now. And if you love the channel and would like to support it, check out our Patreon website, link in the description below. And now keep on daydreaming and see you in the next video.